This video is created by Nihar from YouTube. This video is created by Nihar from YouTube. The 10 most baddest Viper models, ranked and categorized, written by Nihar for public domain purpose. Only the Viper is one of Dodge's most iconic models, and the company has cranked out some seriously cool versions over the years. The Viper has been around for some 5 generations already. Every time they think of killing it off, it somehow survives extinction and bounces right back. The Dodge Viper has been synonymous with the quintessential American sports muscle car, though it is less loved than the Vet. 2006 Viper Hennessy Venom 1000 His Viper Avatar was a joint venture of between Dodge and Hennessy Performance Engineering, the renowned tuning house that has given life to a zillion of supercars including Ferrari, McLaren, Porsche, etc. These speed machines are faster than the stock ones. The Venom 1000 TT used an 8.5-liter twin-turbocharged V10 powerplant sourced from its older cousin, the 2003 Viper, that was rated at 493 horsepower and 525 feet-pound of torque. The Venom 1000 TT went above and beyond to 1014 horsepower and 1100 feet-pound torque, making it one killing machine that was road legal. Only 24 of these were produced, and that makes each one priceless. 2017 Viper GTS-R. The 2017 Viper GTS-R is one of the best in the final Viper roster ever since 2017 saw the end of its legendary life. At least for now. This 5th-generation Viper carried an all-aluminum 8.4-liter V10 powerhouse under its hood that could easily jet out a massive 640 horsepower and an equally immense 600 feet-pound of torque. 1992 Viper RT10. This was the beginning of the Viper era. Team Viper wanted to create a perfect car that could win 1 million hearts and some races in between. After a couple of years of persistence, the first-gen Viper debuted in 1992 and did exactly what Team Viper had tried to envision. It was a celebration. This new breed, though, was riding on a lot of expectations from its creators. By this time, the 60s and 70s muscle cars had already made a name for themselves in the segment, and most of them came from the other two giants of the Detroit 3. The first-born Viper had to be something special, and this one definitely was, and still is. 2003 Viper SRT10. The Dodge Viper nameplate has lasted for 5 generations for almost 25 years now. After the first 2 generations, that racked up 11 years, it was time for a change. Before anybody could point that out to Dodge, it came up with a brand new game plan for the Viper family. The SRT-10 debuted in 2003 as a 3rd-gen Viper. SRT meant street racing technology from the House of Chrysler's performance division, and 10 came from the count of cylinders in the engine bay. The SRT-10 had everything new about it. The styling and design were modern day, while the cues and detailing of the original Viper were still intact. Under the hood was a monstrous 500 horsepower 8.3-liter V10 keg, resulting in a 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint of just 3.8 seconds. 2013 SRT Viper. In 2010, Dodge had stalled Viper production. The global recession was affecting everything, and the automobile industry was hit hard. No one had the money or wherewithal to buy cars, especially the premium models. Chrysler, one of the Detroit 3, received a government bailout, and about that time Chrysler became the Fiat Chrysler, solely focusing on cars that turned a profit. But the Viper was not to be denied, and in 2013, the SRT Viper was reborn. With an all-aluminum 8.4-liter V10 mill that pulsed out 640 horsepower, it was a powerful ride. The chassis was lighter but stiffer, but the design was all that Viper ever stood for in its powerful predatory sleekness. 2016 Viper ACR. 2017 saw Viper come to an end again, much to the dismay of Viper fans all over. It went gracefully, but still landed a powerful last play with the ACR Viper American Club Racing. This variant of the Viper was first introduced way back in 1999, and with the 2016 model, left an indelible impression of the Viper again. Probably why most fans are clamoring for a revival. 1996 Viper GTS-R. The oil crisis of the 70s that stunted muscle car production well into the 80s, the 90s was like a breath of fresh air for homemade American performance cars. Many muscle cars had their road-legal version and their pureblood racers. The 1996 Viper GTS-R was an all-in-all racer, and despite its burly road presence, became one of the nimblest sports cars on track, so built by Chrysler, Reynard Motorsport and Orica. It finished 12th in the 12 Hours of Sebring and managed to beat many teams from Europe and England. It may not have come in the top 3 or even 10, but it was a commendable racer. 1997 Viper GT2 Road Race version. Viper carried on racing with GT2 in 1997, initially producing only the race trim, which was not street legal. After the Fiat GT Team and Driver Series wins in 1997, Viper decided to release a limited edition of 10 road-legal GT2 that featured a massive rear wing and was white with blue racing stripes. It was lighter than the standard model with a bare interior and a more racer-like exterior. 2005 Viper SRT10 Coupe. The Viper SRT10 Coupe was introduced in 2005 as a 2006 model and replaced the GTS-R of the second and previous generation of Vipers. It retained a GTS signature taillights and that unique double bubble roof, basically crafted to let drivers sit in comfort with helmets in place. Some trims also came with that rear spoiler and racing stripes. The 8.3-liter V10 was good for 500 horsepower and 524 feet-pound torque. With a lighter and slimmer body, this raised the performance bar of the Viper. Better aerodynamics also added better speed and handling, so the SRT10 Viper was the perfect foil for anyone who missed the good old days of Viper racing. 1996 Viper GTS. The 1996 Viper GTS was Dodge's official entry of Viper's second generation. It was a coupe version of the Viper RT10, which in turn was often referred to as Viper Generation 1.5. The Viper GTS was dubbed the double bubble car because of the roof with raised sections to let drivers use helmets, and was in turn inspired by the Shelby Daytona, so designed by Pete Brock. While it may have borrowed some tiny amounts of inspiration from the RT10, the GTS was all new, with the same 8-liter V10 mill, but an increased output of 450 horses and 490 feet-pound torque. This was also the first Viper to carry airbags, aircon, power windows, and door locks as well.